Now, Scott, I know that you've had a migrant hotel in Blackpool, and there's the prospect of more. I can tell you overnight that an email was sent out to councillors on the Wirral, not too terribly far away from you, and it's come from the Wirral Chief Executive, and it says that the Home Office have effectively demanded, and we've agreed, that the Holiday Inn in Hoylake will be taking 40 people from Albania tomorrow. Ironically, there was supposed to be a Conservative Party fundraiser at that hotel this Friday.
You really couldn't make
that up.
You really couldn't.
Daniel Kaczynski was going. So I put it to you as a Member of Parliament for Blackpool South. I know you weren't particularly happy about the hotel, the Metropole Hotel in Blackpool being filled up. You've got more coming to you, haven't you? What do you say? What do you, Scott Benton, say to your constituents who overwhelmingly voted Brexit, put you in as their Member of Parliament, trusted you? What do you say to them when we appear to have lost complete control of our borders?
Well, frankly, Nigel, of all the failings of this government over the last 2 years, the failure to get a grip of the small boats crisis is the worst of all. It is a national embarrassment. How on earth can't we, as a country, one of the largest developed nations in the world, control our own borders? It is shocking. I cannot tell you how furious my constituents are about this issue. Every time I go to a pub, have a surgery, it's a top issue people mention.
Yeah.
And if Rishi Sunak does nothing else apart from support for the cost of living, he has to get a grip of this crisis. If he doesn't, we're absolutely toast at the next general election. Make no mistake about that.
I was in the Northwest this weekend, and it was interesting, just talking to folk, and they said every single town in the Northwest now has one of these hotels, and they know, because Manston is full, that more are coming. Did you know the Northwest has taken 17 times the number of people that are across the Channel than the South East has? So there's more coming to you. And I do worry how you can justify this to your people. Now, we now know that in the last few months, there are far too many, doesn't mean everyone, but far too many young men from Albania, a NATO member, an EU applicant member, a holiday destination, a place where there's been no war for 25 years, too many young men from that country with criminal intent coming into our country. My audience question tonight, my question to you, is will, finally, this government get a grip and sort this out?
Well, we need to very quickly, Nigel, as a short answer.
I didn't ask you whether you need to. I'm asking, will they?
We have to. It's as simple as that. This is a national emergency. This is a crisis. If Suella Braverman cannot sort this out, nobody else can. We need somebody who can be honest and upfront with the British people about this challenge. It's not going to be easy, but the things Suella talks about, like leaving the ECHR, is exactly the approach we need. I spoke yesterday in the Commons. 1 to 2% of the entire male population of Albania have arrived in the UK this year. This is fueling not just a crisis in terms of hotels, £6.8 million per day being spent on accommodating them. It's also fueling a crime epidemic, as we've just seen on that clip. My senior police officers in Blackpool tell me that the vast majority of serious organised crime and the drugs trade in Blackpool is now Albanian. That is shocking, it's a disgrace, and it's time my government, as a Conservative MP, sorted this out.
Rishi Sunak, when he stood for election, the one in which he lost, the one in which he won, of course, there was no election, but we'll leave that to another day. The one in which he lost, he produced a 10-point plan for how he was going to deal with this crisis, even featured a picture of me in his video.
Well, I hope you're claiming loyalties on that, Nigel.
I should do. He was very tough and said they were prepared to consider all legal options. If this government doesn't get a grip, if Suella is not allowed to do her job, or worse, gets hounded out by the press pack, if this isn't sorted, seats like yours will go Labour next time, won't they?
No doubts about that at all, Nigel. This is the very top of people's list. Suella understands that. Rishi, to be fair to him, understands that as well. I'm not sure some people in my party do, as we've seen across the road and some of comments made very recently.
Robert Jenrick, you know, when he's asked by the BBC this morning what he thought about the use of the word invasion, backs away. Finally, quickly, was she right to use that word?
100%. What else do you call it, Nigel? We have people coming all hours of the day across the Channel, presenting themselves, costing taxpayers millions of pounds per day If that's not an invasion, I'd like to know what is.
Well, I've got to tell you, Scott, Benton, whether people love you or hate you, you're not afraid to give your point of view. We like that here on GB News from all sides of the debate.